I've been looking,
trying to find the right way to walk. Stay beside me, God. You can try me, I wanna walk in your life.
I've been looking,
searching, trying to find the right way to walk.
the Lord is my light, my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. And whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemy, of the things has not put all in thee. Believe you got the world in your hand. You bless me, Lord, I know I can stand.
Show me the way, Lord.
I will be faithful, for I am desolate and afflicted. Lord, show me the way.
Then I want to say to the people that are watching us live on the internet, good afternoon. And as always, it is good to stand before you on the Lord's Sabbath day. You know, sisters and brothers, there's a time, you know, when the Lord said his prayer, he spoke of a time to come that he would deliver his servants from. And from this prayer, the Lord calls me to put this together. This lesson is called the hour of temptation. The hour of temptation. People think that is when the Lord is tempting you. Well, we're going to show you the Lord don't tempt anybody, sisters and brothers. This is a period of time that is going to come on the world. See, because the world is steady getting worse and worse and worse, and the Lord's going to bring something up on this planet that's going to get everybody's attention. It is one name for it is the Great Tribulation, but another name for it is the hour of temptation. The Lord going to make this happen, sisters and brothers. Now we're going to start looking at this. Let's start this at Matthew, the 6th chapter, because we need to know about this, because this thing is really going down. It's happening right before our eyes, and the world is going to be surprised. But this is just another point to let you know that the Lord's Prayer is prophecy. Like you hear, I've heard several ministers say, well, you know, the Lord's Prayer don't do nothing for me. News flash, the whole Bible don't do nothing for them. But the Lord taught us how to pray. In other scriptures, the apostles asked him, how should we pray? And he taught us how to pray. And this prayer that he taught us is prophecy. Now we're going to start it at verse 9. 6 and verse 9. Okay, go ahead.
After this manner, therefore, pray ye. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Now this is what you're praying to, the Father. You don't pray to Jesus. You're praying to the Father in Jesus' name. Go ahead and read.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come. See, all that's prophecy. Go ahead.
Thy will be done in earth.
And that's prophecy. It's going to be done in earth. Go ahead and read.
As it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread.
And that's sufficient. As long as he give us today what we need, then we are in good shape, because when tomorrow get here, that will be this day. This God here is Jesus letting you know you are putting things on the table that really, really gonna do you good. Go ahead and read.
And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors.
Go ahead.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil. Go ahead.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Now he said, deliver us. You know, each day from this temptation. And this is not talking about somebody being tempted by God. Now let me show you what I mean here. Let's go into James, the 1st chapter. Because he wants you to understand that this temptation that he's going in, hey, we don't want to be led into this temptation because you just might not come out of it. And if you do come out of it, find yourself breathing on the other side of it, you may have taken the mark of the beast to get past it. Then you in worse shape. I'd rather get killed than to go there. James chapter 1, because we show you this, sisters and brothers, because some people think, well, you know, Brother Buie, he's saying deliver us from our daily day temptation. No, God, you know, if you do what God say, his word will deliver you from that temptation. Yep. This is what people don't understand. When it comes to personal temptation, all you got to do is read this book. If you read this book and accept it for what it is, you will be delivered from your personal temptation. Yes, sir. But this is not talking about that. This is a period in time. James, the first chapter, start reading at verse 13. 1 and 13. Go ahead.
Let no man say when he is tempted,
go ahead,
I'm tempted of God.
Go ahead.
For God cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempted he any man.
Now this is what the book says, ain't it? So when somewhere, you know, the Lord tempted me. The Lord don't tempt nobody. He don't do nothing with evil. And he said right now, neither tempted he any man. That covers everybody. So how is it that you figure God is going to tempt you? The book just told you don't do that stuff. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and read.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
Now that's what tempt you, when you're drawn away with your own lust. That is what entices you. Something that you don't want, you don't lust after, that don't tempt you. But when you see something that you want, then you get to thinking the wrong way, you're tempted. That ain't got nothing to do with God, sisters and brothers. That's man. You're drawn away with your own lust and enticed. Go ahead.
Then, when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin.
Now think about this. When lust hath conceived, it bring about sin. Go ahead and read.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. God don't do this. He is about life, sisters and brothers. His whole word is about life. So if this temptation that he was telling you about in the Lord's Prayer, then you can be tempted. And then you get tempted too much, then that's going to bring about sin. And then sin is going to bring about death. You think God going to lay a trap to kill you? No. That trap was laid by you and nobody else, sisters and brothers. Let's go into Proverbs, the 5th chapter. Proverbs chapter 5. Just letting you know that God is not so small that he's going to be tempting you. Every now and then he'll try you, see if you're going to really do what he said. But then that ain't nothing evil. Sometimes he try the strength of your faith, like he did with Abraham concerning Isaac. But to outright tempt you with evil, he ain't going there. Proverbs 5, and we're going to start reading at verse 21. Proverbs 5 and verse 21. Okay, go ahead.
For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings.
And he's watching you all the time. Go ahead and read.
His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself.
Whose iniquity going to take the wicked?
His own.
His own. Go ahead and read.
And he shall be holden with the cause of his sins.
And he going to be held with the cause of his own sins, sisters and brothers. Go ahead and read.
He shall die without instruction. And in the greatness of his folly, he shall go astray.
Now he's going to die without instruction. Because if you was instructed by the word of God, you wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But in your own foolishness, you're going to go astray. That is what takes us. That's the temptation that we have to watch out for, sisters and brothers. Not the one that Jesus is talking about. Now let's go and look at this temptation that Jesus is talking about. Let's go into Revelation, the 3rd chapter. Because I've had people, see, your Brother Buie, you know, that's talking about you being tempted. God's tempting you. God ain't got to tempt you. He gave you his word. You're going to tempt you if you read some of his word that you don't want to do. Or if you see, if you get to looking at some of the things that he said, thou shalt not, but you want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's on you. Like I hear people all the time, well, the enemy was trying to persuade me. What enemy is that you're talking about? He's Satan. Did you see him? Well, you know, I didn't see him, but well, go and look in the mirror. I'm going to show you the enemy so you can see. You. We are responsible, sisters and brothers. But this temptation here is another thing altogether. We're going to start to read at verse 7. Revelation 3 and verse 7. This is when the Lord is addressing the churches. Go ahead and read.
And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things said he that is holy, he that is true, he that has the key of David.
Go ahead.
He that openeth and no man shutteth.
Now this is the Lord. This is the one. Go ahead and read.
And shutteth and no man openeth. I know thy works.
Go ahead.
Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name.
Now I know that this is talking to us in this generation. I know this, sisters and brothers. He said, you know our work. And he said, but I don't open the door and can't nobody shut it. I mean, the knowledge is out here. All you have to do is go get it.
Yes.
There was a day when you couldn't study, you couldn't do nothing because you was oppressed. But he said, now the door is open. I've even removed a lot of falsehood and made it so bad until you said it's got to be something better than this. So you're looking. He said, the door is open. He said, I know you have a little strength. These are people like us that the world ain't paying no attention to. He said, but the door is open. Go ahead and read.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet and to know that I have loved thee.
So he is talking to who? He's talking to us. He said, I know the blasphemy of those people that say they are Jews. Yeah. In other words, that say they are us and are not, but do lie. He said, I'm going to make them come and worship before your feet.
Yes.
And then they're going to know that I have loved you, not them. But look what else he said, though. Go ahead and read.
Because thou hast kept the words of my patience.
And this is us that dealing with this word and don't fool around with it. Get it just like it is. Because you kept the word of my patience. Go ahead.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And I'm going to show you this is a period of time. Because he don't tempt nobody. This is the period that he's going to bring on the world. He said, I will keep you from the hour of temptation. Go ahead and read.
Which shall come upon all the world.
Which shall come upon all the world.
To try them that dwell upon the earth.
To try them that dwell upon the earth. You mean this temptation going to tempt everybody at one time? No. He's going to bring great tribulation. This is the hour of temptation. And I mean, he's going to find out who is his servant and who is not. All of these people running around saying they are somebody that they're not. And they're serving of God that they're not, he's going to find out when he brings this hour of temptations upon earth. Because the Lord going to lay the gauntlet down, sisters and brothers. In order for us to understand this and get more into it, we're going to have to get a little background so we'll understand where this period of time come from. And how that it made its way up to us. So let's go into Daniel, the 7th chapter. That's why I said, sister and brother, this is kind of like an extension, or more parts to add to the lesson that we had last week. Because we do a lot of little inner workings of it. But last week with that lesson, that brought it all down to the end, sisters and brothers. But these are a few things that we're going to see and a few things that's going to operate. Because there's some stuff you're going to have to survive to get to the end. It ain't going to be like you're going to sit on the sideline and watch it go by. You're going to have some knowledge. You're going to have to move. And you're going to have to know what's going on. Or you're going to get caught up in this thing too. But let's look at this background a little bit. See where this hour is coming from. Everything started somewhere. It started way back in Daniel's day. When Daniel started prophesying of it. Daniel 7:1. Okay, go ahead.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed.
Go ahead.
Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea.
Now he said, he had this vision, and Daniel saw this thing. He said, what? I saw the four winds of heaven roll up on the sea. That's why I got the name for the book, The Four Winds of Heaven, because it talked about these four great nations that's going to rule the world all by themselves, and ain't nobody done it since or before. And these four nations are Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. And they rolled up on the sea. In other words, they come up from among the people, because the people, the sea represent the people. Go ahead and read.
3. And 4 great beasts came from the sea, up from the sea, diverse one from another.
Go ahead.
The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings.
Uh-huh.
I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man.
Go ahead.
And a man's heart was given to it.
That's a Babylonian empire, sisters and brothers. And this talking particularly about Nebuchadnezzar, where the Lord showed him that he didn't have no greatness when he drove him out and he ate grass like the ox for 7 years.
Yes.
And when he got through eating grass like an ox, he got up talking like Daniel. That means he put a man's heart in him. In other words, he ain't thinking like a beast now. Right. Go ahead and read.
And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear.
Uh-huh.
And it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it.
Uh-huh.
And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
That's the Medo-Persian Empire. Like we showed last week, it was a Persian king, Cyrus, that let Judah, Levi, and Benjamin go back and build a temple in Jerusalem. Go ahead and read.
After this I behold, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
Go ahead.
The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Greek Empire, 4 heads. We broke that down last week. Let you know that Alexander the Great died, and his 4 generals ended up with the kingdom. Go ahead and read.
After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast.
Go ahead.
Dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth.
Go ahead.
It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
Now you notice this beast didn't have a name, because this is the Roman Empire. Roman Empire is so terrible until God didn't have a name for it. Finish that.
And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
Go
and
ahead.
It had 10 horns.
And this had 10 horns. That means it's supposed to rise and fall 10 times. Why is it that the Roman Empire is worse than all the rest of them? Because it is still with us, sisters and brothers. Rome failed. But then Rome came back up again with a religious head. And that is where Rome is still ruling right now, through religion. That's why everybody go to church on Sunday.
Teach.
From Rome. That's why everybody's getting prepared for Christmas to come up. Rome. This is not just in the United States or in the United Kingdom. It's even in Russia, which is supposed to be an atheist nation. Rome still rules. It ruled physically, and now it's ruling you mentally through religion. Go ahead and read.
Verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things.
This is the religious horn, sisters and brothers. This is the one that's the head of the mother church. So he had eyes like a man. He had a mouth that's speaking great things. Yeah, because he coming talking like he is God. And you should listen to him rather than God. Skip down to verse 11 and go ahead.
I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain.
Go ahead.
And his body destroyed and given to the burning flame.
And that's what's going to happen, sisters and brothers, because of the words that the horn spake, because it's contrary to the word of God. Go ahead and read.
As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away. Yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
He took the horn out in his regime, but he allowed the rest of the nation to continue. Skip down to verse 16 and go ahead.
I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this.
See, Daniel's looking at all this stuff. You see these 4 great beasts and all these different kinds and little horn and all that. And Daniel went to the angels. He said, I want to know what I'm looking at.
Yes.
Explain this to me. Go ahead and read.
So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Look, the saints of the Most High, sisters and brothers, do not come along until after the first resurrection. Who are the saints of the Most High? the ones that are in the first resurrection. That let me know that this beast and this organization is going to rule until the Lord comes.
Yes, sir.
Ain't going to be no another nation come in power like America. You got the ones that's coming, it's what's on its way now, the European common market. The Lord going to terminate this Gentile dynasty. Ain't going to be no more after that. What verse are we?
We at 19.
Go ahead and read.
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast.
He said, I want to know the truth of that fourth beast, the one so terrible that there ain't no name for, and the horn that come up out of it. I want to know the truth of the fourth beast. Go ahead and read.
Which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
He said, I want to know about that one. So he going to tell you about it, but he also wanted to know about that little horn that come up out of him. Skip down and read that at verse 21. Go ahead and read.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints.
He said, there's a little horn that come up and knocked 3 horns off. He said, I beheld that same horn made war with the saints, sisters and brothers. He made war with the saints and what?
And prevailed against them.
And he beat them. This is before the first resurrection, sisters and brothers. And I'm talking about these are real saints. These ain't people that's just faking. Like I said, they're playing for the kingdom. They are not playing church. These people know something, but they just didn't know enough to get to the place of safety. He said, look, this little horn that's going to come out of this fourth beast is going to make war with them. And he is going to prevail. Keep reading.
Until the Ancient of Days came.
Until the Lord come. Go ahead and read.
And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
Go ahead.
Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth.
The fourth beast going to be the fourth kingdom on earth. Go ahead and read.
Which shall be diverse from all kingdoms. And shall devour the whole earth.
Go ahead.
And shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
That's the Roman Empire. Still going on. That's why the people don't understand. We showed you and read you in history last week that all the common market nation had to sign one treaty, and that was called the Treaties of Rome.
Yes, sir.
Because it's still the Roman Empire. And they are still bent on putting it back. So it can go in this great glory where it can rule this world like it used to. Go ahead and read.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. And another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
That was in last week's lesson. We gave you the name of them kings. But this little horn is another king. He going to come up. Who do they call them, Papa? He going to subdue 3. We already showed you who they was, the Ostrogoth, Vandals, and the Hurlite. Go ahead and read.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Yes, sir.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
And look, he said it again. He going to speak great words against the Most High. And I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be open season on you, saints.
Teach.
During this time. They're going to wear out the saints of the Most High. The Lord going to allow him to do that. If you're not in that place of safety, sisters and brothers, your faith is going to be sorely tried. Go ahead and read.
And think to change times and laws.
Go ahead.
And they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time.
He's already changed time and laws. You understand? Yeah. He changed the Lord's Sabbath from the 7th to the 1st.
Yes, sir.
He changed the time that the day going to start. At 12:01 instead of the evening and the morning when you can see a day change.
Yes, sir.
Change the dietary law.
Yes, sir.
Change the location where the kingdom is going to be. He's done this, sisters and brothers, but then the time going to come when he is going to wear out the saints. That's going to be a time that's called for time, and dividing of time. That's 3.5 years, sisters and brothers. 3.5 years, this guy going to get to do whatever he wants to do, this whole regime. Because he's going to have a whole 10 armies plus under him. Go ahead and read.
But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion.
They're going to take away his dominion. Go ahead.
To consume and to destroy it until the end.
Go ahead.
And the kingdom and dominion.
And the kingdom and dominion.
And the greatness of the kingdom.
And the greatness of the kingdom.
Under the whole heaven.
Under the whole heaven.
Shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
Go ahead.
And all dominions shall serve and obey him.
So now where's this kingdom going to be if it's under the whole heaven? Earth, sisters and brothers. During this hour of temptation, the Lord going to let these people rule. And if you are a true servant of God and you are not in the wilderness, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. This is what the world don't understand. He's going to find out. They're going to find out. Now let's go into Revelation, the 13th chapter. Because we're going to see this thing. Because in the 7th chapter, we saw 4 kingdoms which had 7 leaders and 10 horns. But 3 of the 10 horns was plucked up. But now we're going to see a picture of this resurrected kingdom. We're looking at it right now. We showed it clearly yesterday, last week. But like I said, this is kind of an extension because some of the intricacies of it we want to bring out. Revelation 13, and let's start reading at verse 1. Revelation 13 and verse 1. Now this is what we just got through reading. And Daniel's the 7th, but the only difference is Daniel's brought it nation by nation. But here, John is seeing the future version of it. His future, not our future, because we're looking at it right now.
Yes, sir.
That's if you have the eyes to see. Like people tell me, well, brother, you must have special eyes. I said, I sure do. They read the Bible.
Yes, sir.
And I see what's written in it, so I know what's going down when it starts to go down.
Yeah.
The Lord done told you. All you got to do is look. 13 and 1. This is the resurrection of the Holy Roman Empire, or either Babylon the Great, but today it's called the European Economic Union. No matter what the name is, like the old saying is, a snake by any other name is still a snake. Verse 1, go ahead and read.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now these 7 heads, we read about them, and we just didn't pay no attention. If we had paid some attention, we would have saw the Babylonian head. Then we would have saw the Medo-Persian heads. Then we would have saw the Greek head. And then we would have saw the Roman head. All 7 of them there. Because the Greek had 4 heads, sisters and brothers. And 10 horns, this 10 horns, this is a new version. 10 of these horns, 3 of these horns don't get plucked up. These horns continue. So this is the new version. 10 horns. And the 7 heads. The 7 head is the organization that it come out of. Go ahead and read. What verse?
We're in the middle of 1.
Uh-huh.
And upon his heads, upon his horns, 10 crowns, and upon his heads, the name of blasphemy.
Now, each one of these horns represented a head of state. All of them had a crown on. Everyone was a ruler. Whatever you want to call him. Premier, president, prime minister, czar, whatever. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and read.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
Now, didn't we see the leopard in the 7th chapter?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read.
And his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Didn't we see the bear in the 7th chapter?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
We saw the lion with eagle's wing. We saw him, right? And that last head had 10 horns, didn't it?
Yes.
Go ahead and read.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
So all the players are here. This is a portion of all of them. This is the same old Roman Empire. It just come under different names and separated under different states. But what people don't understand is the Roman Empire started with Italy. And Italy come, and after they started to knock down states, they brought all of these states under the banner of the Roman Empire. Yes. Now these states going back to their prospective names and location. And everybody's been trying to put them back together. Yeah. Just like the Romans did. So here they are. Go ahead and read.
Verse 3. And I saw one of the heads as if it were wounded to death. And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
So what head was healed? The Roman head, sisters and brothers. Roman head was supposed to rise, fall and rise 10 times. So now it's healed. We are looking at the healing of it right now. The common market. The deadly wound was healed. Go ahead and read.
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
You're going to ask the question, who is able to go against a mart of nations, 10 nations, and they're not all in Western Europe. They're just the 10 that's running Western Europe. Who is able to make war with us? That's what's going to be said later on. Well, you know, the United States is a superpower. Look, let me tell you something. The United States figured so little in prophecy until the Lord really didn't even mention it.
Right.
We just getting pompous. Didn't mention them. Because we reading about the powers that be.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
5. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies.
This is the religious part that come out of this organization. A mouth speaking great things and blasphemy. Go ahead and read.
And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
That's still at 3.5 years, ain't it? Because the Lord going to bring this thing down at 3.5 years. That is the hour of temptation. Go ahead and read.
And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God to blaspheme his name.
Go ahead.
And his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
Go ahead.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
Said it again, didn't it? The Lord is warning you, sisters and brothers, that if you don't get to that place of safety, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have to really have your faith in order. He keep telling you, this guy going to make war with the saints.
Yes.
And what he going to do to them?
And to overcome them.
And he going to overcome them. That means he going to be winning. Go ahead and read.
And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
And you're going to be in trouble no matter where you are. The ones that in the main area is going to be rough on them, but wherever you are, you still going to have to succumb to this false religion. Greco-Roman Christianity.
Yes, sir.
Not Israel Christianity. But Brother Buie, Israel ain't got no... Look, I'm going to tell you, Israel are the original Christians. I know what Christianity is. Because Christ was an Israelite. All the apostles was Israelite. The apostle Paul to the Gentile was an Israelite. We put it forward. You mean we don't know nothing about it? That's why I said Greco-Roman Christianity, sisters and brothers. We know, but you're going to have to have some knowledge in it, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. Skip down to verse 11. Verse 11 and go ahead.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Now this is another beast coming out the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Go ahead and read.
And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
Now this not another nation coming up, sisters and brothers. This is the leaders of this organization. Religious and temporal leader, whether he's political or whether he is a military. This is the leaders. And these are the ones, sisters and brothers, that we have to really, really pay attention to. Go ahead and read what verse?
We are 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Now we know the false prophet. See, remember, this is one organization that had 2 great leaders. And the false prophet is the one that make fire come down in heaven. How do I know? Because it tells you that in Revelation the 19th chapter. Because he said, in the beast, these both was cast into the lake of fire. The beast and the false prophet that worked miracles before him. Right. So this is Papa. He's going to wave his hand and fire going to come down and you're going to say, yeah, this is Christ, all right. But if you got some knowledge, you're going to say, I've been waiting on this. That's the false prophet, all right. That is the difference of knowledge and ignorance, sisters and brothers. I always say it, and I mean it, ignorance is costly. Yes. It could even cost you your life. Knowledge itself is healing. That's why it's called balm. When the Lord says there's no balm in Gilead.
Yes.
Knowledge, the word, let you know what to do in time of desperation. Go ahead and read.
14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Go ahead.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Go ahead. Now, see, they want to make an image to it. It's probably going to be a stone or something, image. You understand? Not a computer. Computer ain't going to move. And nowadays, with people intelligent, everybody know about computers. Computers is taking over everything. Yeah. He going to do something you ain't looking for. He going to have some kind of statue or image made like Nebuchadnezzar. But the difference with him and Nebuchadnezzar, this guy's going to make him walk and talk. And you ain't going to know what to do about it if you don't have no understanding. Go ahead and read.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and call that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
See, look, sisters and brothers, you're going to get people that's going to be riding the fence. Well, I don't know, this might be Christ and it might not. Then he's going to go through something in that statue that they're going to build. They're going to start walking and talking, and the whole world is going to be focused on it. Yep. And then all of a sudden, the people say, hey, I almost went with you, but I see now that this guy in the temple over there is Christ. Therefore, you got to die. If they don't kill you, they're going to pick up the phone and bring somebody there that will kill you. And the ones that are halfway on the fence, he's going to cause them to receive a mark, which is called a mark of the beast. Go ahead and read.
16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
So you're on the fence. You fighting. But when you see that, this got to be Jesus. Then you're going to go on in there. Give me my stamp. Just like they do every Ash Wednesday. People don't understand that they use every Ash Wednesday to prepare you to receive the mark. They don't know that's what's going on. That's because they are uninformed, sisters and brothers. You do that to rats. You open up a trap door and got some cheese on us. So he go through there and eat. When he get through, he go back. And you keep doing it. So eventually, when you get ready for the slaughter, you put a trap over there. You open up the door, he run through there looking for the cheese, and he run into the trap. Right. Now, when you figure out what's going on, it is too late. And that's what's going to happen. And the people ain't going to figure that out. It's too late until the Lord come when them bust through them clouds, sisters and brothers. That's why be prepared to investigate. Why are you putting this in my forehead and in my right hand? Tell me why you doing this. Nobody ever asked. They just go up there and they do it. Yep. Go ahead and read.
And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Now they're going to have it all rigged. Everybody, all them believers, going to be running business, everything. You got a pocket full of money. You can't buy a hamburger unless you got, let me see your mark. You ain't got no mark? Your money don't work here. Move on. It's going to be rough. I'm going to tell you something, it's going to be rough. That's why it's called a time of trouble like there's never been. Right. And the Lord said that there shall never be another time like it. Go ahead.
Here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast.
Go ahead.
For it is the number of a man. And his number is 666.
For courage, Billy died. Replacement of the Son of God. Vicar of Christ. On his crown. He said, when you see the one, what them numbers are, that's the one. Stay away from it. Stay away from it because he is the one that's going to bring this hour of temptation. Now let's go into Revelation 17 chapter because we're going to see where it came from. Because remember that little horn plucked up 3 horns, didn't it? And what happened? The 7 horns went along with the little horn. 17 and 1. The same one here. Because the angel is finna explain to John what he just saw in the 13th chapter.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come here.
Go ahead.
I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
See, John, in 13 it emphasized on the beast, but now it's emphasized upon the religious part of it. The great whore. Why is it great whore? Because this is a religion that says come from God and it didn't. It's a prostitute religion, sisters and brothers. I just hate to say it, but that's the truth. And we all call it Christianity. But this is not the Israelites' Christianity. This is not Christ's Christianity. This is the sun worshippers' version of Christianity. Go ahead and read.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
All the kings of the earth have committed fornication. When Papa leave Rome and he go from town to town, they have him thrones. I mean, he come, every nation, they glad to have him.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And all the kings, when they go to Italy, they can't stop there. They have to go down and kiss the ring of Papa.
Yes.
And we all been made drunk of the wine of her fornication. What's that bad religion? Christmas, Easter, Satan barbecuing people. People in heaven smiling down on you. You're going to be raptured off to heaven. And the dead going to go to heaven. Wait a minute, if the dead are already in heaven, then why are they going there? Go ahead.
Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit up on a scarlet-colored beast.
Go ahead.
Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now, she was up on the beast. That means she's controlling this beast. This is what it is. She's controlling this. The religious part is going to control this. Go ahead and read.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Oh, it looks so convincing, sisters and brothers. And it's rich. Even that cup that you're going to drink out of, that they're going to give you. Golden cup. You understand? Full of bad doctrine. But what's her other name? Go ahead and read.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great.
Mystery, Babylon the Great.
The mother of harlots.
The mother of all these false religions. Go ahead and read.
And abominations of the earth.
An abomination of the earth. All you got to do is find out who the mother church is, and you just put your hand on it. And she admits herself, well, we the mother church.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know. The Bible told me about you.
Yes, sir.
Skip down to verse 9. Verse 9, and go ahead.
And here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Now, I tell you the geographical location. We showed you that in history books last week, didn't we? Go ahead in geography. Go ahead and read.
And there are 7 kings.
There are 7 kings.
5 are fallen.
5 are fallen.
And 1 is. And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Sisters and brothers, I have brothers, I wanted to put the graph up on there of these beasts we have in here. We're going to look at these 7 heads and 10 horns. I want you to put your graphics up there. Because, sisters and brothers, since somebody decided to interpret the word, I said, I'm going to get real basic today. So I can make sure that nobody misunderstand what I am about to deal with. But we're going to put it together. It just takes a little time, sisters and brothers, because I want this thing to be understood, because too many people take the word of God for granted. And we're going to see this real clear. Now, read the next verse. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
Now look. So there are 7 horns, isn't it? And I'm going to tell you about these 7. Let me see, I think I got a pointer in here. We don't know all the names of these horns, but we know the names of them, brother, because we named them last week. And it started with Justinian and came on down to Benito Mussolini, sisters and brothers. So these are the 7 horns. These are the 7 horns that's left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? But it said, but look. Read that next verse, the one that you just read. Read it over again. Go ahead and read.
Verse
11th verse.
And the beast that was and is not.
This is it. The beast that was and is not. Go ahead and read.
Even he is the 8th.
He is the 8th.
And is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
Now, what beast is he talking about? See, each one of these, this beast and each one of these horns represent the beast. But he is the 7th. He is the 8th. That's the one to rule this nation. But where did he come from? He come from among the 7. So they put this empire back together, sisters and brothers, this guy here is going to move because he's the last horn, and he's going to become the temporal leader. But still, Papa has been there ever since the fall of Romulus Augustulus. He's been there in every generation. And each one of these guys tried to fix it, they failed. He tried to fix it, they failed.
Yes.
You know, like, and come on down to Napoleon Bonaparte. He tried to fix it, it's failed. Mussolini, he tried to fix it, it's failed. This guy here, he gonna fix it. And when he fix it, he gonna be the 8th one that ruled this great dynasty. What are you talking about, Brother Buie? Look at these heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rule. When he take over, he is gonna be the 8th. Do y'all understand what I'm saying here? Not the church. Because the church has always been there.
Yes.
So that's why I said this beast had 2 horns like a lamb. These guys are going to stand against God. Now read the next verse. Okay, go ahead.
We have verse 12.
Verse 12, go ahead.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Now, once he get this beast together with the 7 heads and 10 horns, these 10 horns, we're looking at it right now. That's in Western Europe. Yeah, the United Kingdom is falling out, but somebody's going to replace them real soon. So these going to stand against Jesus, sisters and brothers. And they are the ones that's going to fight. They're going to be around when the Lord comes. That let us know that the days, like I said in Daniel's 2nd chapter, in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. We're going to see this. We ain't talking about the generations to come. This is in our time. I know it because the Lord had his prophets to tell us. And he said surely he would do nothing but reveal his secrets to his prophets. We know what's going on. We're going to see this, sisters and brothers. But look, when this guy get in power, there's going to be a time that's called the Great Tribulation. But before the Great Tribulation come upon earth, the Lord is going to deliver his saints to the wilderness, sisters and brothers, those that know about him. He gave us a sign. But before and when this sign comes, when this guy's supposed to rule, the Lord said, when you see this sign, it's time for you to flee. Let's read into this line. Let's go into Matthew, the 24th chapter. Matthew chapter 24. Because the Lord has laid all of this out, sisters and brothers, and he wants us to understand what this is all about. He put it there. You're not supposed to get caught up in the Great Tribulation. You're not supposed to get caught in the hour of temptation. Because he told you, I know your works. You have a little strength. I know them that say they are you. He said, but also, I'm going to deliver you from the hour of temptation. How is they going to deliver you? Through his knowledge, sisters and brothers. Now, this is when the apostles were showing Jesus the temple. 24:1. Matthew 24:1. Okay, go ahead.
And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple.
Go ahead.
And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Now he tell you, look, however pretty this temple is, the day is going to come when it's going to be destroyed to the ground. Go ahead and read.
And as he sat up on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be?
When is the temple going to be torn down? Go ahead and read.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
What is the sign of your coming?
And of the end of the world.
And of the end of the world. They asked specific questions, didn't they? And the Lord going to answer them. But he gave them a warning first. Go ahead and read.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
Take heed that no man deceive you. Now this is the part where the world have overlooked. What is it? Go ahead and read.
For many shall come in my name.
For many shall come in the name of Allah.
Saying, I am Christ.
For many shall come in the name of Buddha.
In the name of Christ.
Shall many come in the name of Hare Krishna. Didn't say that, didn't it?
No, sir.
For many shall come in my name. Go ahead and read.
Saying, I am Christ.
Saying, I am Christ.
And shall deceive many.
Where do you find those guys at? You're going to find a whole slew of them tomorrow. In the pulpit. Behind rostrum like this. He warned you about all of this. He warned you about these Greco-Roman Christians that's going to come in the last. He warned you about them. They're going to come in my name. They're going to deny the name. Oh, man, they're going to Christ you to death. But once you get through listen to them confess at his name, listen to their conversation.
Yes.
Skip down to verse 15. Because they asked him for a sign. Verse 15, go ahead.
When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso read, let him understand.
Now, if you're a New Testament Christian, you don't know who this is. Because he says spoken of by Daniel the prophet.
Yes, sir.
You're a New Testament Christian. You ain't never read Daniel. Because somebody done told you that it's been fulfilled. We're reading Daniel's right now, ain't
Yes,
we?
sir.
Daniel spoke about all of this. So when you, and then, where is the holy place? Don't nobody know. Who is the abomination? Don't nobody know because ain't nobody taught it. But we know.
Yes.
So when you see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso read it, let him understand. I mean, you better understand this, sisters and brothers. Go ahead and read.
Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Now, if you're in Judea, if you're over there, you better go into the mountains, sister. You get up out of there. But if you're anywhere in the world, you better flee. But you got to know where to flee. Because the Lord ain't promising nobody protection but in one place. This mountain must be in the wilderness too. Skip down to verse 21. Why should you flee? Verse 21, go ahead.
For then shall be great tribulation.
For then shall be great tribulation.
Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
That's how to be a bad time, ain't it? Tribulation so bad, you ain't never had a time this bad since there be a world. And he said it shall never be again. This is a bad time, man. Yes. Because we done seen some ugly stuff go down on this earth. Ethnic cleansing and everything else. Go ahead and read. And
except those days should be shortened.
Go ahead.
There should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
He said, look, except the Lord intervene and shorten these days, ain't no flesh going to be saved. At this time when Jesus made this prophecy, there was not a weapon on the earth that could destroy all flesh. But now everybody got it. Now they all up in the air because Korea said, yeah, I got it too. I'm going to do something with it. Everybody's in a tither because these nuclear weapons can destroy all flesh, sisters and brothers. But we don't worry about it, those of us that have some understanding, because we know the Lord is not going to allow it.
Right.
That's why I don't get all shook up with this little guy in North Korea rattling his nuclear. See, they don't rattle sabers no more. They rattle nuclear weapons. Yeah. I ain't shook up because I know how the end is going to be. The Lord didn't let us know what the end's going to be.
Yes, sir.
But before this great tribulation starts, sisters and brothers, the Lord said, when you see this, he said, flee, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is us that the Lord is talking about. One of us, not only Israel physically, but also spiritually Israel, that's got some knowledge. Because we all going to go to the same place. Now, let's go and look at it. Let's go into Revelation, the 12th chapter. Revelation chapter 12. That's why if you're a stranger, if you do what Israel say and serve the God of Israel, then that makes you spiritual Israel and you're part of Abraham's seed and heir to the promise. It's all that simple. Paul tell you that in Galatians, the 3rd chapter. So now, just prior to the great tribulation, let's see what's going to happen. We're going to Revelation 12 and 1. 12 and 1. Okay, go ahead.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
Go ahead.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Now, Genesis, the 37th chapter, tell you this is the nation of Israel. But this nation, this still Israel, but this is spiritual Israel, physical Israel mostly, but then spiritual Israel too. Because even physical Israel got to become spiritual Israel. In other words, you got to walk in God's law. Because Israel is God's name. And say if you're a child of Israel, then you're a child of God. I'm talking about spiritually as well as physical. So this woman represents everybody that do this thing right. Primarily Israel. Because right now, everybody in the world ain't ready to do it right. You ain't going to get a whole bunch of strangers running to the wilderness because they don't know about the wilderness. You understand? But those of us and the strangers that are among us, we know about it.
Yes, sir.
So let's see what happened with this woman. Go ahead and read.
Verse 2. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered.
Go ahead.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head.
Wait a minute. That's not Satan. That looks like the European Economic Community, don't it? Having 7 heads and 10 horns, ain't that what we read? Why is it that you saw a great red dragon stood before the woman that was trying to deliver? She was laboring to deliver. Why is it that Satan looked like the nation? Because we read it. He gave them his seat, his power, and great authority.
Yes, sir.
Then it said all the world going to worship the beast, and all the world going to worship the dragon that gave power to the beast. Because this is his organization.
Yes, sir.
So he stood before the woman to do what? Go ahead and read.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So this dragon brought with him a third of the angels. So he stood to devour her child as soon as it was born. And what nation, which one of his nations that he controlled was doing that? The Roman head, sisters and brothers. Because Jesus come during the Roman Empire.
Yes.
Go ahead and read.
And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron.
Now we know who this is, don't we?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne.
And she brought forth a man-child. You notice it didn't say who was to rapture all his servants off the earth.
Who was to rule all nations.
Who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron. And when he comes, sister and brother, he ain't going to be playing. Because he said, thy will be done.
Yes.
In earth as it is in heaven. He going to bust heads and they going to take names. You're heading the wrong place, he going to have one of them angels crackers. It's all that simple. But then he went on back to the throne. But what happened to this woman that he came out of, which is Israel? This is what people understand. Israel is the one that mothered Jesus.
Yes.
Because his mother was an Israelite. Go ahead and read.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she have a place prepared of God, that she should feed her there 1,260 days.
So now, when this guy came into power, he tried to kill this woman even during the Roman days. Tried to cut off Jesus. Now, during this time prior to the 3.5 years, he is going to persecute the saints. Haven't we read all over about he going to make war with the saints prevail?
Yes, yeah.
And the Lord's going to give them into his hand? But these are the saints that have some knowledge. These are people like us that know what's going on. We know the sign. We are going to flee into the wilderness. Skip down to verse 14 and go ahead.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent.
Look, sisters and brothers, great wings of an eagle represent God's power, because he told you he brought Israel out on eagle's wings. That means he brought you out, and you're going to be there for time, and a dividing of time. That's 3.5 years, sisters and brothers. That's what it's talking about. What verse?
We have 15 now.
Go ahead.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away the flood. And the earth helped the woman. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
I'm pretty sure that's an army he tried to catch you, but the Lord's going to deal with it. But whatever it is, the Lord's going to save his people that's got some knowledge. We're going to be getting out of the way, and he ain't going to let nothing get in our way. We know where we're going. He's going to provide the trip, and he's going to let us know without a doubt the location. So no matter what Satan do, He ain't going to be able to stop this. Go ahead and read.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
He was upset with the woman.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
And he couldn't get the woman. So what did he do? He turned around and assaulted her seed. Sisters and brothers, that's why the Bible keeps saying that he's going to make war with the saints. And he is going to prevail. Who is this woman's seed? Go ahead and read.
Which keep the commandments of God.
These people going to know now that they have to keep the commandments of God. Go ahead.
And have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
And they're going to have the testimony of the real Jesus that's going to sit on David's throne. Going to be contrary to the world. They're going to know the things we know. It's somewhere along the line they apparently just didn't make the connection that they had to go to the wilderness. I've heard some people that got some knowledge. Well, I don't think the Lord can protect me anywhere. Of course he can. Yeah. But he told you where he's going to protect you.
Yes, sir.
That's what you got to pay attention to.
Yes, sir.
And once you get there in the wilderness, ain't nothing going to happen to you. Let's go into Psalms chapter 91, the 91st chapter of Psalms. Once you get there, the Lord ain't going to let nothing happen to you. He said that's a place of safety. That's why he told the people, if you're in Judea, you flee to the mountain. That's in the wilderness too. Everybody's going to be in the same place. Wherever you find yourself on this planet. When you see Papa, when you see him build a temple in Jerusalem and Papa leave Rome and move into it, flee. Start looking around. Transportation going to be there. You ain't going to need no money and you ain't going to need no passport. All you're going to need is knowledge and be clean in the eyes of God. I'm talking about keeping his laws and his testimony. That's all you're going to need. And he's going to deal with you. Psalm 91, let you know that once you get here, ain't nothing going to happen to you. Because this is right now the secret place to the whole world.
Yes, sir.
Don't nobody know about it. Go ahead and read.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
So when you get there, you're going to be under the shadow of the Almighty. Ain't nothing going to happen to you. Skip down to verse 4 and go ahead.
He shall cover thee with his feathers.
Yes, sir.
And under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
So what's going to get you here? His truth.
Yes, sir.
That's your shield and buckler. You looking at his truth. You're looking at his word and you believe him.
Yes,
and
sir.
when you see the abomination of desolation standing in the holy place, his word says, flee. And he's going to show you where to flee.
Yes, sir.
That's what's going to be your shield and buckler. His truth. But if you ain't got no truth, you're butt naked. And you're going to suffer the thing that a naked person suffer in Alaska. Go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day.
You're going to be in there. You ain't going to be afraid of nothing. You're afraid of the terror by night or the arrow that flies in the day. Well, it's going to be bullets and mortars. Go ahead and read.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
Because a whole lot of sickness going to come up when you have war. That's a pestilence, diseases and everything else. You ain't going to be afraid of that. Go ahead.
Nor for the destruction that wasted at noonday.
Go ahead.
1,000 shall fall at thy side.
1,000 shall fall at your side.
And 10,000 at thy right hand.
And 10,000 at thy right hand.
But it shall not come near thee.
It ain't going to come near you. You're just going to be looking at it. Go ahead and read.
Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
The Lord going to let us see this, sisters and brothers. We're going to be able to see it, what's going on. All of these people that you tried to bring this gospel to that would not listen, they're going to be under the gun and you're going to be laying back in the wilderness looking. You're going to pick you some fruit off the tree. Okay. Because it's your time now. Yes. Go ahead and read.
Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
Because you made him your habitation. Go ahead.
There shall no evil befall thee.
Absolutely none. Go ahead.
Neither shall any plague come near thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways.
Why is no plague or no trouble going to come to you? Because he's going to give his angels charge over you.
Yes, sir.
And ain't nothing going to be able to get close to you, sisters and brothers. And he going to do like it did in the old days. He going to keep thee in the ways. Angel going to be there. And sisters and brothers, this angel going to protect you as he did in the days of old. That's good. Let's look at this. Let's go and look at what the Lord did in the old days when he got ready to when he took his people to the wilderness. Let's go into Exodus, the 23rd chapter.
Yes, sir.
This is what I like about this God. He always has somebody say, look into the future, into the past, and you'll see the future. All you got to do is look into the past. I haven't done anything secret. I laid it all on the table. If you want to know, you can see it. Exodus, the 23rd chapter. Exodus chapter 23. Exodus chapter 23. And we're going to start reading at verse 20. This is what the Lord told Israel when he pulled them up out of Egypt. Verse 20. Read it.
Behold, I sent an angel before thee to keep thee in the way.
Ain't this what that angel going to do to us in the wilderness?
Yes, sir.
He's going to keep you in the way. Go ahead and read.
And to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
See, that's why I ain't worried about what the place is. Some people dispute about it. They might be right and they might be wrong. I think I know exactly where it's going to be, but if it might be somewhere else, I ain't worried about it because this angel is going to show me where to go.
That's right.
I ain't going to be wandering around somewhere on the African continent or in the Middle East. I'm wondering where it's at. This angel is going to give me the precise location and take me directly there.
That is right.
Go ahead.
Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not.
Go ahead.
For he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him.
He said, I want you to beware of this angel. That's what he told Israel. He said, I'm going to take you to the place where I have prepared for you. Ain't this what he said?
Yes, sir.
But then ain't this what a woman went to a place prepared for her?
Yes, sir.
But he said, you got to beware of it. Obey his voice. Believe him. Do what he said. Because he ain't going to forgive your transgression. Now you decide to do a little sin, and on your way to the wilderness, you might find yourself dead. You might find yourself in Italy somewhere. What happened? You hacked the angel off. He diverted your route. Go ahead and read. 21 again. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversary. He said, but if you obey him and do all that I told him to do, because the Lord, the word is God. Yeah. Then I'm going to be an enemy to your enemy and an adversary to your adversary. See, this fight here don't belong to you. All you need is knowledge. That's right. Knowledge, sisters and brothers. And when the Lord's angel protect you, can't nobody do nothing to you. I got an example I'm going to show you. Let's go into Isaiah the 36th chapter. Because if this angel is protecting you, sisters and brothers, ain't nobody going to do nothing to you. And if somebody try to harm you, let's see what's going to happen to them. Isaiah chapter 36. I like what God give these examples. Then you could, with confidence, say, "Hey, I know what's going to happen here. When my time to flee to the wilderness, I'm going to flee. I ain't going to worry about I done put a lot of money in this house, or either I just bought a new car, I just finally living good, got a big spread." You ain't gonna go there. When you see, gonna pop on TV, Papa moved to Jerusalem. You gonna get up, you gonna leave house, you gonna leave car. Time to go. Because it's time to go. Yes, sir. It's all that simple. And a lot of people ain't gonna want to deal with that. Right. I ain't one of them. I'm gonna look at the wife and say, let's book. Yeah. Well, I got you better come on now. I ain't fooling around. And when somebody try to stop it, then they say, Says Satan cast water out of his mouth to try to stop you. But he can't, because God has given his angel charge over you. Let's look at this example. Isaiah 36, and we're going to start reading at verse 1. Isaiah 36 and verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
Now it came to pass in the 14th year of King Hezekiah that Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came up against all the defense cities of Judah and took them.
See, you had Jerusalem, then you had Judea. There was a whole lot of cities in Judea. Jerusalem was just one city. So now this Sennacherib, he had come up and taken down all the cities but Jerusalem. Go ahead and read. This is what the king always was. Go ahead and read.
And the king of Assyria sent Rabshakeh from Lachish and to Jerusalem unto King Hezekiah with a great army. And he stood by the conduit of the upper pool in the highway of the fuller's field.
See, because the Syrians were fierce fighters, sisters and brothers. And they was real fierce. I mean, they were ugly. But every time they take down a nation, they would skin the king.
Yes.
And hang his hide on the wall. So Hezekiah was real scared. So he sent him down there, and let's see what he did when he got there. Skip down to verse, with this big army. Skip down to verse 13 and go ahead.
Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language and said, Hear ye the word of the great king, the king of Assyria.
See, he had spoke to them, the representative come out for the king to speak to us in the Syriac. We understand. He said, look, my king didn't send me to y'all, the leadership. He sent me to the people. And he said, look, y'all better come on out there. The great king then sent down there and he got a message for you. Go ahead and read.
Thus saith the king, let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord.
Now that's where he violated that.
Yes, sir.
He should have just kept Hezekiah. He might have pulled it off. But he violated. Because he said, now neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord. Go ahead and read.
Saying, the Lord will surely deliver us. This city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria.
So don't let him tell you that. Skip down to verse 18. He got worse. Go ahead.
Beware, lest Hezekiah persuade you, saying, the Lord will deliver us.
He said, beware now. Don't let Hezekiah persuade you with coming words like the Lord will deliver us. Yeah. Go ahead and read.
Has any of the gods of the nations delivered his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria?
He asked a question, and the answer was no. The Syrians had took down just about everything. Go ahead and read.
Where are the gods of Hamath and Arphad? Where are the gods of Sepharim? And have they delivered Samaria out of my hand?
Even the Syrians took out the 10 tribes 100 years before. You understand? So everybody that the Assyrians have assaulted, they went down. Where are all of these gods? Where are the gods? Where's the God of even Samaria? See, but the Lord took Samaria out because Samaria got so wicked.
Yeah.
But they thought it was by the strength of the Assyrians. Go ahead and read.
Who are they among all the gods of these lands that have delivered their land out of my hand? That the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of my hand.
He said, who are these gods? What make you think your God is better than anybody else's God? The other ones ain't been able to deliver their people out of their hands. So who is the God of Israel that he should do it? Boy, this Rabshakeh was talking big stuff.
Big stuff.
And the king was listening. And when the king heard, it scared him to death. Let's go into Isaiah the 37th chapter now. Isaiah chapter 37 and start at verse 1. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord.
Because he knew that this cat was talking for real. He wasn't just blowing smoke. Them Assyrians took out everybody they come against. So he went into the house of the Lord. He covered himself with sackcloth. And he went to the house of the Lord because he was scared. Because he knew he was up against it. Skip down to verse 15. Verse 15. And go ahead.
And Hezekiah prayed unto the Lord, saying, O Lord of hosts, God of Israel, that dwelleth between the cherubims.
Now we know who it was that the cherubim was protecting in the Garden of Eden, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
Thou art the God, even thou alone of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth.
He acknowledged who he was. But go ahead and read.
Incline thine ear, O Lord, and hear. Open thine eyes, O Lord, and see. And hear all the words of Sennacherib, which has sent to reproach the living God.
He didn't say, boy, this guy know how to pray. You understand? He come to assault you.
Yes.
I want you to hear what this guy done. He came against you. Yes. Go ahead and read.
Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste unto all the nations and their countries.
He said, but look, Lord, the guy didn't lie. They didn't laid waste to all of the countries they come against. All of them. Skip down to verse 21. Verse 21. And go ahead.
Then Isaiah, the son of Amos, sent unto Hezekiah, saying, thus said the Lord God of Israel.
The Lord heard him. So the prophet Isaiah sent Hezekiah a note, saying, thus said the Lord God of Israel. Go ahead.
Whereas thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, this is the word which the Lord has spoken concerning him.
Now I'm going to tell you what the Lord said concerning him. Go ahead and read.
The virgin, the daughter of Zion, has despised thee.
He said, the daughters of Zion have despised thee.
And laughed thee to scorn.
You are a joke, mister.
The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head at thee.
And they're shaking their heads. So look at this pitiful fool. He's going to come and blaspheme God. Yeah. Go ahead and read.
Whom thou hast reproached and blasphemed.
He's asked the question.
Yeah.
Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? Go ahead.
And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice and lifted up thine eyes on high?
He said, now who is it that you done raised your voice up? Who is it? Go ahead and read.
Even against the Holy One of Israel.
So, mister, you have insulted me. That's who you have assaulted. That's who you have insulted. I'm going to show you what I think about that. Skip now to verse 33. Verse 33. What the Lord said to Israel. Go ahead and read.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria. He shall not come into this city.
He ain't going to come into this city.
Nor shoot an arrow there.
He ain't going to shoot an arrow across the wall.
Nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it.
And he ain't going to even build no kind of bank against it to try and come over the wall. Go ahead and read.
By the way that he came, by the same shall he return and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord.
He said, he ain't going to come here. I'm going to send him by the way he came. Go ahead and read.
For I will defend this city to save it for my own sake and for my servant David's sake.
He said, look, the way he came, that's the way I'm going to run him back, because I'm going to defend this city and save it for my servant David's sake. And look what he did. Go ahead.
Then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000.
Ain't that something? One angel. The Lord just told an angel, go out there and kill them all.
Yeah.
One angel went out there and killed 185,000 Assyrian soldiers, sisters and brothers. One angel in one night.
That's right.
What if he sent a flock up? Probably been in 1 millisecond. One angel, sisters and brothers. Go ahead and read.
And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses.
When Israel rose and looked across the wall, all they saw 185,000 bodies spread it out over there. One angel. Go ahead and read.
So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh.
He was defeated, so he gave up his quest.
Yes.
He went on back to Nineveh. Because you know Nineveh is the capital of Assyria. Right. Go ahead and read.
And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adremelech and Sharezer, his sons, smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead.
So he went to the house of his god, and God sent his own children in there and killed him. But who is it that killed that army? Angel. That's the same angel that's going to be protecting us, sisters and brothers. But you know what he said? He said, I will give my angels more than one. Charge over you. If one angel can kill 185,000 soldiers in one night, what you think a whole flock of them can do? This happened. We're going to read us some history. This is the World Scope Encyclopedia, Volume 1. I'm going to show you what happened. That's why I said, sisters and brothers, the Bible speaks, and when you listen to the Bible, if he said it happened, You can find it. World Scope Encyclopedia. Read it.
A Babylonian named Pul usurped the throne in 745 BC and assumed the Assyrian named Tiglath-Pileser II. However, a successful revolt occurred under Sargon, a great general of Assyria, who carried 27,000 Babylonian citizens into captivity. And later, his son Sennacherib conquered Judea and besieged Jerusalem.
Now that's the same Sennacherib. He conquered Judea. Remember, he had knocked all the other cities around, Lachish and all, and then he seized Jerusalem. Go ahead, what happened?
Where a pestilence destroyed his army.
Well, what?
A pestilence.
A pestilence destroyed his army.
And saved the city from being captured.
What year was that?
In 681 BC.
Oh, in 681 BC. A pestilence went in there and killed his army. What did the book call that pestilence? This is recorded history. This is Assyrian history. We're going to read it out of another book. Last 2 million years. Because the Lord said, out of the mouth of 2 or more witnesses, a fact established. We're going to go to another source of a history book. And we're going to read it. This is Assyrians. Go ahead and read it.
Last 2 million years. Sargon's son, Sennacherib, 705 to 681 BC, moved his capital to Nineveh, where some of the finest Assyrian sculptures have been found. They included winged bulls and carved reliefs of battle, showing how the Assyrians flayed the elders of rebel cities and hung their hide skins on the wall.
That's why Hezekiah was scared. He knew about that. He didn't want to be scared. But go ahead.
Sennacherib sacked and burnt Babylon. In his own words, the city and his houses, from its foundation to its top, I destroyed, I devastated, I burnt with fire. Through the midst of the city, I dug canals. I flooded the site with water, and the very foundation thereof, I destroyed.
That Sennacherib was terrible, wasn't he? He not just took you down, he skint your king, imprisoned you, bunch of houses down, plowed up the streets, and flooded with water, so it would never be a city there no more. This is a terrible guy. You can see why Hezekiah was scared, can't you? Go ahead and read.
Jerusalem was also besieged in 701 BC.
Go ahead.
The occasion on which, in the words of Byron's poem, the Assyrian came down like the wolf on the fold. Sennacherib extorted tribute from Hezekiah. According to the Old Testament, Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord and from the pillars and gave it to the king of Assyria.
And that is written. Go ahead.
Inscriptions in Sennacherib's own palace.
Listen now what he said now. These inscriptions written in Sennacherib's own palace. Go ahead and read.
Boast of how he shut up Hezekiah like a caged bird.
He bragging on how he shut Hezekiah up like a caged bird. 185,000, you couldn't go out of the city. They're in the walls trembling.
Yeah.
So he said, he boasts on how he shut him up like a caged bird. Go ahead and read.
But the Assyrians failed to take Jerusalem before plague forced them to withdraw.
They failed to take Jerusalem before a plague forced them to withdraw. What plague? One angel went out and killed an army. So you can't take it if all your army dead, ain't it? Only thing you can do is what Sennacherib did. Go back to Nineveh.
Right.
Then God said, you ain't escaped them. Send his own sons in there to kill them. Sisters and brothers, this is prophecy, and this is the word of God. Now see what God's angel will do. What he did in the past, why shouldn't I believe he's going to do that for us in the future?
That is right. That is right.
We are dealing with matters of facts, sisters and brothers. Matters of facts. Now you know what the sign is. So you know when to run. Now let's see, it began now. Let's go into Revelation, the 6th chapter. Because sisters and brothers, everything that the Lord said was going to happen, if we are on the downside of it, we can look back and it will happen. Somewhere in history, it is written. Just like when Jesus, Mary and them went back. It is in history that the Romans gave a commandment for all people in their realm to go back to their native country and their native city for taxation. That's why Jesus was in Jerusalem. That's why they was there.
Right.
And there was so many people went back until all of the hotels was full, so they didn't have nowhere to sleep but in the manger. We got historical facts that came after the Acts that recorded what went down, sisters and brothers. But don't nobody believe it because everybody have been playing church. And the people have been coming in the name of Jesus, confessing that he is the Christ, and have deceived many, like Jesus his own self said. Now, Revelation, the 6th chapter. This is the beginning of the great tribulation. See, the guy gonna come in the name of peace. 6:1. Go ahead and read.
And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as if it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see."
Come and see. Go ahead.
And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
Who is this white horse? This represents the religious part. He had a bow, and he went forth to conquer and to conquer. So now if you're going to go forth and conquer, somebody's going to reciprocate that.
That's right.
Go ahead and read.
And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast said, "Come and see."
Go ahead.
And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword.
So now, once you go out to conquer, somebody's going to reciprocate, so now you're going to go to war.
Yes.
What's the presence of war and absence of peace? Isn't that correct?
Yep.
Going to take peace from the earth. Go ahead and read.
And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Go ahead.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny."
Now, when you have war, you have famine, don't you?
Yes, sir.
But this going to have a double famine here. Because once he take over, not only is the war going to create famine and pestilence, if you don't have a mark on you, you ain't going to be able to buy nothing anyway. Go ahead and read.
And see that thou heardest not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see."
Go ahead.
And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death.
Yes, sir.
And hell followed with him.
Look here, nothing but straight up killing now. Filling the grave. That's hell followed. The grave, whole lot of graveyards. Go ahead and read.
And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
Now power was given unto him to kill by every mean conceivable. If you ain't dealing with him, sisters and brothers, every mean conceivable. And he's going to have power over the fourth part of the earth. Now, sisters and brothers, it talked about 5 are fallen, 1 is. We know that the 1 is was Benito Mussolini. But we might know who that 7th one is. Let's read this news clip in here. What's the title up there?
The Tsar of Brussels.
The Tsar of Brussels. Look at what I got and read the little subtitle down there.
Jacques Delors' ambition plans for 1992 have revived the 40-year-old dream of a united Europe.
Wait a minute. Wasn't all of them trying to unite united Europe? That's another word for uniting the Holy Roman Empire again. Mussolini tried to do it. Napoleon Bonaparte tried. Otto the Great tried. Charles V, Charlemagne, Justinian. All of them tried to bring the Roman Empire back together. This is this guy's dream too. But go ahead.
Most of Europe's leaders felt security matters should remain NATO's preserve. Thatcher opposed the common currency. West German Chancellor Helmut Kohl demurred on the central bank.
See, now that's why England had to come out of that. Because they opposed the common currency. That's back in 92. But now they got the common currency. It's called the euro dollar.
Yes, sir.
United Kingdom couldn't stop prophecy. Go ahead and read.
That left the construction of a single integrated market. With a population of 320 million, a gross national product second only to that of the United States, and more than a quarter of global trade.
How much? More than a quarter of global trade. These people here going to have it all going on. And we showed you last week a news clipping about they talking about an embargo on guess who? Putting tariff on guess who?
U.S.
Go ahead.
The EC is potentially the richest market the world has ever known. And for the time being, Jacques Delors and his commission are Europe's closest thing to a government.
Ain't that something? I'm talking about not a government of France, not a government of Germany, not a government of Italy, governor of Europe. Government of Europe. This Jacques Delors, he might be the one, but if he ain't, I tell you what, he sure is living now. Because it is time, sisters and brothers. It is time. So, what the Lord said, He's going to rule over a fourth part of the earth. He's going to do it. Not only military, but economy too, but it's going to affect all economies. Now, let's go into Daniel's the 11th chapter. Daniel's the 11th chapter. See, because nobody is thinking about this. This haven't crossed anybody's mind. You're going to go to church tomorrow, they're going to be hollering and screaming and falling over chairs. And the ones that refine is going to be speaking Latin to you. And they're going to make a statement and then you're going to reply. And when they leave, everybody feeling good, but their head is empty as it was when they went in there. Sisters and brothers, this is some serious stuff here. Somebody better pay attention.
Yes, sir.
Daniel chapter 11 and verse 31. Because when this guy comes, this is a religious guy now. He's going to be pushing the military guy. Verse 31. Go ahead and read.
And arms shall stand on his part. And they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength.
Go ahead.
And shall take away the daily sacrifice. And they shall place the abomination that make it desolate.
That's what's going to happen in the future. These people, when they build that temple, they're going to start the sacrifice before this guy move in. But what they're going to do, this European, Western Europe, they're going to take away, they're going to stop the animal sacrifice. Then they're going to place the abomination. In other words, they're going to set Papa in the temple.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flattery. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits.
So he's going to flatter a whole lot of people that don't keep the covenant, that don't want to keep God's covenant. But the people that know, that got some understanding, these are the people that didn't make it to the wilderness. These are the children of the woman.
Right.
So these are the ones that know their God, they're going to do exploit. How are they going to do exploit? Go ahead and read.
And they that understand among the people shall instruct many.
They're going to be telling them, no, this is not the one. The Lord warned you about this. They're going to teach many. Go ahead and read.
Yet they shall fall by the sword.
Yes, sir.
And by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days.
Look, the Lord told you they're going to make war with the saints and do what?
Overcome them.
They're going to overcome them.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read.
Now when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries.
Go ahead.
And some of them of understanding shall fall.
And some people that have some understanding going to fall. Go ahead and read.
To try them and to purge and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done.
Look, he's going to let the people that's standing strong, he's going to let some get killed or tried. That me and Julius, we outside the great trip, we didn't make it to the wilderness. And both of us preaching. Then they're going to come up, and then they're going to chop my head off, and then they're going to look at Julius. Say, look at here. I got this stamp here. This mark. You want it on your forehead or your hand, or do you want the sword? That's when he going to find out where Julius' faith is.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? And this guy is going to magnify himself above every god. And he's going to do all that the prophet say he's going to be do until all the indignation is accomplished.
Yes.
For that is determined shall be done. That can't nobody divert this prophecy. Go ahead and read.
Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all.
This guy ain't going to use Christ. He going to be Christ. And he ain't going to desire no women because he's Sullivan. And he is going to magnify himself above all and any God. Yep. Paul told you about this same guy. Let's go into 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. I mean, the Lord have labeled him. He have put the finger on it. There is no reason for us to get caught up in this foolishness because the Lord have informed us. It's all over the book. All you got to do is read it. You get caught up in this thing, that's because you got something else on your mind that shouldn't be there, sisters and brothers. You ain't supposed to get caught in this because the Lord done fix it. He done put you in the eye of the storm. You know what's going on. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, because you're always hearing people talking about the Lord can come any day. They must have said that in Paul's day, and Paul telling these Thessalonians, no, that can't happen. Right. Certain things got to go down before that happens. Verse 1, go ahead and read.
Now, we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and by our gathering together unto him.
Go ahead.
That ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of the Christ is at hand.
Now, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, the Lord talked to me. He said, Paul, so I'm going to tell you something now. I don't care. Nobody write you a letter, not by word of mouth, or you hear a voice in your head that you think is God that said Christ going to come any day. It ain't going to happen like that. Telling you, go ahead and read.
Let no man deceive you by any means.
Let no man deceive you by any means. Go ahead.
For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed.
He said that day is not going to come until there be a falling away first. Falling away from what? The truth, sisters and brothers.
Yes.
The truth has been fallen away from a long time. But he also until that man of sin be revealed. And they think that this man of sin is the holiest man on the planet. He is not revealed to the world. Only we know who he is. Go ahead and read.
And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God.
That's what we just got through reading. Who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God. Go ahead and read.
So that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
So that he didn't. The Lord warned you about the abomination of desolation?
Yes.
This man is the abomination. And when he sit in the temple of God, showing himself to be God, he is the abomination of desolation, sitting in the holy place.
In the holy place.
Go ahead and read.
Remember ye not that while I was yet with you, I told you these things?
See, he said, I told you these things. Now he wrote it down, so now we know these things, don't we? Go ahead and read.
And now you know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time.
See, this is what prophecy is about. This is what the scripture is about. Let you know what's going to happen in a particular time period. So you will know at what stage of the prophecy that you're in.
Yes,
you know when you're close to the end. Go ahead and read.
For the mystery of iniquity do already work.
It started in Paul's day. That when that false religion was out there. Go ahead and read.
Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
Go ahead.
And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
That means he's going to be there when the Lord comes. He's the Lord going to let this thing go on because the prophet said it's going to happen, so it have to be. And he's going to stay there. But the Lord going to remove this guy with the sword of his mouth and the brightness of his coming. Go ahead.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders.
See, that's why it said that you worship the beast and you worship the dragon that gave power to the beast. This guy going to be revealed. He's going to be removed. Who? This is the false prophet who have all of these wonders and lying powers and signs. That can make fire come down from heaven. That can make a statue walk and talk.
Yes.
So the Lord said, I'm going to take care of him when I come, sisters and brothers. So now, Gabriel is going to explain a little more of the vision that Daniel had, starting with the Medo-Persian Empire. Because the Lord sent this message to man. And Gabriel is going to break it down just a little more to make sure that man understand what God is doing. Now let's go back to Daniel's the 8th chapter. Daniel's chapter 8. Because the Lord wants us to understand this, sisters and brothers, because if you don't, you're going to get caught up and you're going to be in trouble. Daniel's 8, and we're going to start at verse 15. Daniel's chapter 8, and we're going to start reading at verse 15. 8 and 15. Okay, go ahead.
And it came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning. Then, behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man.
See, Daniel saw all of this stuff, and he saw this vision. Then there appeared before him. Go ahead and read.
And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Uli, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision.
See, he didn't come to make him fall all out and kick. He came to make him understand the vision.
Yes, sir.
That's when the Spirit of God come upon you. He come up upon you to inform you.
Yes.
Go ahead and read.
So he came near where I stood. And when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the visions.
So all this stuff you've been talking about, the little horns and all the 10 horns and the up falling and all that, he said all that's going to take place at the time of the end. We are in that time. Yes. Skip down to verse 20 and go ahead.
The ram which thou sawest, having 2 horns, are the kings of Media and Persia.
That's behind us. Go ahead.
And the rough goat is the king of Greece. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
That's behind us. Go ahead.
Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
All that's behind us. Go ahead and read.
And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full,
go ahead.
A king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up.
Now that started with the fall of the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, and is now down in the our time.
Yes.
A king of dark sentences. A king of fierce countenance, understand dark sin. That means this man got some understanding. That's why the Lord ain't going to even bother to send him in judgment. He going to throw him in the lake of fire while he coming down.
Yes, sir.
Because he know better. And he have sinned against the Holy Ghost. Go ahead and read.
24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power.
Where did he get this power from? From Satan.
Yes.
He gave him his seat, power, and great authority. His power going to be mighty, but not by his own power. Go ahead and read.
And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
There you are again, saints.
Yeah.
That's why you better make it to that wilderness. This cat got the hit out on you. And he ain't going to be playing.
No, sir.
We're going to find out who's serving God and who don't. Go ahead and read.
And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
In his hand. Go ahead and read.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many.
He's going to do that all in the name of peace. Kill the infidels. Kill the barbarians. These people hate Christ. They should not live. My sisters and brothers. And you're going to get pumped up and you're going to be looking for somebody to kill.
That's right.
In the name of peace. Go ahead and read.
He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
But then when he stand against the Lord, it's going to be all over. He's going to be broken without hand. The Lord going to just tell the man you throw him in the fire. It's all that simple, sisters and brothers. Now let's go into Daniel, the 12th chapter.
Teach.
Because we need to understand this. Daniel chapter 12. And we're going to start reading at verse 1. 12 and 1. Then we're going to skip. Daniel 12 and verse 1. Okay, read it.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Now that's when Michael's going to stand up. There ain't but one time that's going to be, and there should never be another one like it. That is one time. That's the great tribulation. That's when Michael, why he stand up? Because he is the captain of the Lord's host. Skip down to verse 5 and go ahead.
Then I, Daniel, looked, And behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river.
Go ahead.
And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders?
So how long? How long is this abomination going to rule until this thing is over with? Go ahead and read.
And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that live forever, that it should be for a time,
1
times
3.5
3.5
years. 3.5 years, sisters and brothers. It's all over. We know it. Satan had his people telling you that the great tribulation is 7 years. Then that would have been 2 hours of temptation. But the Lord said He's going to bring 1 hour of temptation. So we know what time it is. Go ahead and read.
And when he should have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished.
They're telling you again. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. Sisters and brothers, you better have great urgency to get into that wilderness. Because this cat here have got it in for the saints, the people that know the truth. I mean, he's straight up going to try to destroy every one of us.
Yes.
Remember, he worked for Satan, and when Satan tried to get those of us that know and make it to the wilderness and he can't get us, he's going to turn and assault the children of the woman. Everyone that keep the commandments of God and the testimony of Jesus. Don't all of these Greco-Roman Christian churches tell you that the law ain't no more? Them old commandments was nailed to the cross.
What they say.
God know we can't keep them. Ain't that what they teach?
That's what they teach.
Now, when they got power and you're going to stand and say, no, you wrong. The Lord said right here, Papa's going to say, kill them all. Go ahead and read. What verse?
Verse 8. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, oh, my Lord, what shall be the end of these things?
See, Daniel didn't understand it, but we do. You know why? Because this wasn't for Daniel's time. It was for our time.
Yes, sir.
He said, I heard, but I understood not. He wrote it down. He said, what's going to be the end of these things? Go ahead.
And he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end.
Now, because we understand that lets you know that we are in the time of the end.
Yes.
It's because these words are sealed up. Many generations that passed. And the people in that generation didn't understand except for maybe 1 or 2 prophets here and there.
Right.
You know why? Because it was for the time of the end. We are in the time of the end.
Yes, sir.
Skip down to verse 11 and go ahead.
And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days.
He's letting you know. From the time that this is going to happen, the daily sacrifice is going to be stopped, and the abomination of desolation set up. Then he gave you a time period. We ain't going to try to deal with the time period. Everybody try to do that, not me. Skip down with verse 13 and go ahead.
But go thou thy way.
Go your way, Daniel. Go ahead.
Till the end be. For thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days.
But I want you, Daniel, you going on about your business.
Yes.
You going to die and you going to be in your rest.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to raise you up at the last day.
Yes, sir.
You ain't going to see none of this, mister, even though you wrote about it. You ain't understanding this, mister, because it's not for your generation. You're going to be dead when this happens. God is a God that said he give information for those that have a need to know. Sisters and brothers, we have a need to know. Don't y'all understand me? You need to know this, because even your very salvation might be on the line. Because if you get caught outside of the place of safety, you might change your mind. He said, look, because the time which ain't never seen, right? We just read in history that the Assyrians would skin kings and hang their skin. They might decide to skin you. You see them skin somebody you love, skin your wife, and look at you, what you going to do, mister? You going to take the mob, or you going to take the skinning? He probably said, well, you know, maybe the Lord understand that I'm under duress. Put your right hand up there. Think about it. But then, this time's going to go on, and who's going to end it? Let's go into Matthew, the 24th chapter. Matthew's chapter 24. Because, sisters and brothers, the Lord had all this here because he wants you to understand this. And see, and people don't understand that you ain't got no playtime left. This is almost over with. Everything you got to do is got to be precise and serious. Playtime is over with.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't think it, you're going to get caught up outside of the place of safety, and your salvation is going to be in question. We're going to start at verse 29. Now, after the tribulation of those days, you got some church, you see the Lord going to take the church to heaven before the great tribulation. But look, 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter said the Lord shall descend.
Right.
Then the dead going to be raised, and the living going to change and meet him in the air. When are we going to start this descent? Start at verse 29. Go ahead.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
Now all that's going to happen after the tribulation, ain't it?
Yes,
Go ahead
sir.
and read.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
Wait a minute. Doing what? Go ahead.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Go ahead.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Look, if you waiting to be raptured to meet the Lord, then right here it tell you after the great tribulation, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
So whoever told you that you were going to be raptured off before the great tribulation, Matthew, by the word of Jesus, just said you lied.
It's all that simple.
And your people going to get caught up in that. You lied. Minister? You lied. Immediately after the tribulation. So the Lord is coming. He's coming to do what? He's coming to go to war, sisters and brothers. He is coming to make war with the kings of the earth and their armies. Let's go and look at it. Zechariah the 14th chapter. Zechariah chapter 14. See, people don't want to deal with this truth. They run around acting like they got a choice. You ain't got no choice. God gave you two choices, live or die. He said, I set before you good and evil, life and death. Choose life and live. But if you should happen, but then he have it so in Jeremiah, so this people have chosen death. The choice is yours. Life and death. You don't have no in between. It's all that simple. Zechariah 14, because here come the Lord coming with power and great glory. Verse 14, and we're going to start reading at verse 3. 14 and 3. Okay, go ahead.
Then shall the Lord go forth.
Because here he come now. Go ahead.
And fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle.
He's going to do it just like it was when he brought Israel out of Egypt. He's going to intervene. Go ahead and read.
And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east.
Go ahead.
And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a very great valley.
Go ahead.
And half of the mountains shall be moved toward the north and half of it toward the south.
Look, sisters and brothers, when the Lord's feet hit that mountain, the battle is actually going to be over. But he's coming to fight against these kings. And he ain't going to stop at the descent until his feet hit the Mount of Olives, and the Mount of Olives going to split in the middle. But go ahead and read.
And you shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you shall flee, like as you fled before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah.
Go ahead.
And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with him.
Look, the Lord's coming, and all the saints. Those are the people that are in the first resurrection.
Yes, sir.
I believe that most of the people in the wilderness that went upon the woman before the great tribulation, that all of them, just about all of them, will be in the great tribulation. If not most of them, all of them, sisters and brothers. Because these people have done this thing. And you got other places in the wilderness saying, look, said there ain't no food going to error there.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
So now, when he come, he said he's coming to fight against the nation, right?
Yes, sir.
Skip down to verse 12 and let's read that. 12th verse. Go ahead and read.
And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
This is the Lord going to do this, sisters and brothers. This is some ugly stuff. I mean, he coming and he going to deal with it because that's what he going to do. Because during that hour of temptation, them people done hurt his saints. Let's go into Revelation 18 chapter. They have hurt his saints, sisters and brothers. All over we've been read how this guy is going to assault the Lord's saints. I mean, they're going to try and wipe the true worshipers of God off the planet. Everything in their power. That's why the Lord going to do some ugly stuff. You coming up with your weapon, all of a sudden you can't see because your eyes done deteriorated. Trying to talk, your tongue done deteriorated. What I call is when he get through your flesh going to fall in, he going to uncreate you. You ready for that? Revelation 18 chapter. And we're going to start at verse 1. This is the same thing here. Now look what he said concerning this. 18:1. Go ahead and read.
And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory.
This is another angel with great power. Skip down to verse 3 and let's keep going on. Go ahead and read.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen, is fallen and become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
That's why I said these are the names you got. You got Roman Empire. You got European Common Market. And also you got what? Babylon the Great.
Yes.
Still the same people, no matter what name you call them. He said he's fallen. Go ahead and read.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
So all nations have drank the wine of her fornication. All of them have drank of this false doctrine. All of them own it. All the kings that go there, they had to kiss the ring.
Yes.
All of it, sisters and brothers. And said, and a lot of them wax rich by dealing with them. Go ahead and read.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins.
Now he's telling me right now, he's telling you now to come out of her, sisters and brothers. If you come out of her, you do it mentally. You can't make no physical exit right now. Where you going? But how do you come out of her? By changing your ways and keeping God's commandments and the testimony of Jesus.
Teach.
That's why the Lord told him about his apostles. I don't pray, Father, that you take them out of the world.
Right.
I pray that you keep them from the world. We are pilgrims, sisters and brothers. This is not the home we're looking for. And we will not deal with the status quo of false religion. The Lord said, come out of her.
Yes.
But let me show you. Daniel's talking about this same time. Keep your marker here because we're coming right back. Let's go into Jeremiah, rather talk about this time. Let's go into Jeremiah the 51st chapter. We're coming right back here. So keep your marker there. Jeremiah chapter 51. Because the Lord got something for this Babylon the Great, sisters and brothers. Letting you know because she done a lot of harm. And caused the Lord's people to receive a mark or die. Caused them to suffer. Beheaded them. Done everything to them. Lord said, I got to do something to you. Jeremiah 51 and verse 1. Jeremiah 51 and verse 1. Okay, read it.
Thus saith the Lord.
I have one more place after this. Go ahead and read.
Thus saith the Lord. Behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about.
Now in what time? In the day of trouble, isn't it? That's why I say it's going to be a time of trouble like there's never been. This ain't talking about Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon. This is talking about Babylon the Great. The beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. The European Economic Community. This is what this is talking about.
Yes.
And he said, I'm going to bring this upon you in the day of trouble, Babylon. Go ahead and read.
And for the day of trouble.
Well, skip down to verse 6 and go ahead.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
Didn't the Lord tell you by the mouth of John to flee out of her?
Yep.
This is the same time. Flee out of her. Don't get caught up in the midst of her sin. Flee out of her. Have your mind in the right place. Understand prophecy. And when the time comes for you to physically flee out of her, you'll be able to, because I'm going to provide the transportation.
Yes.
Flee out of her. Don't get caught up in her sin. Don't get caught up when the Lord takes vengeance on her, because you in her, you might suffer some too. Go ahead and read.
Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad.
Now, he said, what he said, everybody drunk out of that cup, didn't they?
Yeah.
The nations are mad. Why? Because they find out that they have been woefully deceived. Go ahead and read.
Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed.
Go ahead.
Howl for her. Take balm for her pain.
Go ahead.
If so be she may be healed.
Go ahead.
We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the sky.
Look, the Lord said, look, the day going to come when he's going to be taking down Babylon. He said, they all going to turn, every man's going to turn to his own people, and they're going to all flee to their own countries. Because the Lord said, I'm going to deal with this hindermost nation that's coming up now.
Yes.
That means the last nations among the nations before the Lord comes. Russia's going to be over there too. He's going to take them down, but he ain't going to take them out. But he's going to take these people out. Skip down to verse 13. Go ahead.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
Then it said, the whore that dwells upon many waters. O thou that dwellest upon many waters. Go ahead and read.
Abundant in treasure. Thine end is come. And the measure of thy covetousness.
He said, your end is come. And the measure of covenant. You that dwells on many waters. Yes. Your end has come.
Done.
I'm going to take you out in the day of trouble. Now let's go back to Revelation. This is the last place, the 18th chapter. Revelation chapter 18. And we're going to start reading at verse 9. Revelation 18 and verse 9. Okay. Go ahead.
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Yeah, they're going to be away from her though. You understand? They're going, oh, what did happen here? Go ahead and read.
Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
In 1 hour. She ruled deliciously for 3.5 years. Killed whoever she wanted to kill. Destroyed who she wanted to destroy.
Yes.
Starved who she wanted to starve. Everything. And all the saints, nobody was immune to her. But once that hour was over with,
yes, sir,
she was taken down. Go ahead and read.
11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
They all gonna weep and mourn, because she ain't gonna be able to get rich, make you rich no more. Skip down to verse 17 and go ahead.
For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And here, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood far off.
Look, all these, when this common market reaches zenith and everybody's getting rich and everybody's doing well,
yes,
they think this is gonna be for 100 years. They ain't gonna know that it's gonna, when it gets started, from the time Papa moved to that temple, it's gonna only be for 3.5 years.
That's it.
They're gonna be living good. The whole world is going to be following after them. The whole world is going to be praising them. Yeah, that European common market. Ooh, I just want to get in it. Go ahead.
and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
What city is like this? Go ahead and read.
And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness.
Go ahead.
For in 1 hour is she made desolate.
For in 1 hour, in 3.5 years, the Lord took her out. Sisters and brothers, pay attention to this, because just like last week, this is the word of God, and every syllable is going to come to pass. Thank you for your time.